Hello everybody and welcome back to more Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode here in NCAA 2004, and we are getting things underway. Still kind of towards the front half of the season here. We're going to get close to that middle part. We've already played our conference game against Kentucky that we do every single year after a couple out-of-conference games, and that leads us into one of our penultimate important games in the beginning of the season that we play every year against the Arkansas Razorbacks. This time we're back in Tuscaloosa, and this is the third time against the Razorbacks where both teams are top 10 opponents heading into the matchup. So last year we were 2 versus 8, and then in year number 3 it was 9v5. But we've been ranked, I think, probably 6 or 5 of the 7 now matchups that we've had against Arkansas. Arkansas just always seems to be able to play the rankings pretty favorably in the beginning half of the year. I think they get looked on pretty favorably because of recruiting and because of a relatively easy schedule that they always seem to play at the beginning of the year. But I think we will probably expose them to not be the top 10 team that the country seems to think that they are, much like we exposed Penn State for not being the top 10 team that everyone thought that they were. And if you saw just a second ago, the SEC West standings were flashing. LSU already gaining quite a bit of ground in the conference here with already 2 conference wins, starting off 5-0. So we've got a little bit of ground to gain on LSU. Obviously we will, because we're playing the same amount of games more or less. But just the point there, the important thing to note is that LSU is already once again showing that they might be a force that we're going to have to try and overcome later in the season. But we got to get past Arkansas first. And this Arkansas team is probably one of the weaker ones that we've seen. Flipping back through to try and write down some of the names on the roster sheet. And they got a lot of 70s on this roster. I have no idea how they've made it to number 7 in the country here, but hopefully we can expose them for what they are. But already they're giving us some fits here as their freshman receiver, Carnell Cage, gets a humongous pickup here to get them inside of Crimson Tide territory. A massive pickup. A cut to a 3rd and 12 now. Their quarterback, Garen Price, I think he's a sophomore here. He's going to take a shot towards the end zone. We've got more than enough bodies in the end zone to break up that pass, and so Arkansas is going to have to settle for a field goal on this opening drive that had such a promising start to begin with. So on a 4th and 12, they're going to settle for the 3 points, and they're going to get it. So Arkansas is going to take a 3-0 lead over the Crimson Tide here early on in this game. So cut to 1st and 10 now, a little bit later here in the first quarter. Stephen Bentley takes a shot downfield, and it's Scotty Mitchell behind the defense here. Now it's a foot race to the end zone inside the 20, the 10-5, into the end zone for a humongous Crimson Tide touchdown, man. Beautiful stuff. You love to see it. Stephen Bentley taking that matchup here, and that wasn't even necessarily a really open throw, because I think Scotty Mitchell had probably at least 1 or 2 guys in the vicinity. That safety came over top to try and help. I think we saw a similar thing happen in the Penn State game, and Stephen Bentley just barely missing out on that safety's hands, and it's going to end up in a touchdown for us. So 7-3 now your score. Cut to a 3rd and 9 now. Price running for his life now, but flips it out on the run and finds an open target for another first down for Arkansas. And so Price, the first-year starter as a sophomore here, doing what he can to keep this offense alive here in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be difficult. So on 3rd and 1, they're going to hand off to Mayer here, Eric Mayer, the running back, and he's going to get absolutely stuffed at the line here. Absolutely stuffed. And that was Kellen Cunningham, the sophomore, who was able to prevent that first down pickup. And on the very next play here, Eric Mayer is going to get the first down here, brought down from behind by Pat Burks, the freshman linebacker, but not before picking up the first. And Eric Mayer, I think, is one of the only seniors that I saw on the team when I was flipping through the roster. So he's one of the only seasoned guys here, but I think he's the first-year starter because remember last year they had they had John Brooks, who was their running back. He was a 92 overall, and now I guess he is gone. He left early, but Arkansas still making things happen here on the ground with Jason Farrell, their fullback, who is a junior. And now the first quarter is going to come to a close with Arkansas looking to strike here, maybe add some points and maybe retake the lead. So cut to a 3rd and 2. It's another fullback dive to Farrell, and Farrell gets just enough for the first down before he is tripped up, I believe, by Rick Sloan. But it's going to be another first down for Arkansas, and now they are moving, but cut to a 3rd and goal. And man, this goal line defense is really fighting with Arkansas here, not giving them an inch. And that's George Leon, the big senior, helping break up that quick pass here into the end zone. But Arkansas keeping the offense on the field for a 4th and goal. It's now the second 4th down that they've tried to convert here on this drive, but this time they managed to do it again. So Eric Mayer is able to get into the end zone here. He gets clotheslined as he crosses the goal line. for an Arkansas touchdown. So 10-7 your score here. Stephen Bentley with the play action flips this one out quickly to Scott Mitchell, and it's going to be caught at about the 30-yard line. And now we are once again cooking on offense, moving here with a little bit of urgency. But cut to a 3rd and 10 now. Arkansas's defense really showing some strength here, and Stephen Bentley all day to throw, takes a shot towards the end zone, and it's Stephen Watts, the tight end, and that one just fell right into the bucket here. Another very tight window, and timing was everything here, and Stephen Bentley just manages to get it there the very last possible second before that safety could make a play on it. And Sean Watts, the tight end, I think it's Stephen Watts, Sean Watts, the tight end, able to catch that one for a touchdown. So cut to a 3rd and inches for Arkansas. And once again, in these short yardage situations, our defense just cannot seem to can lock up here. So Farrell, the fullback, able to get yet another first down with his feet here on a quick fullback dive. So cut to a 3rd and 7 here. Just a little over 2 minutes left in the first half. Price flips this one over to the right side of the field, and it's going to be Carl Cage, the freshman receiver, once again. He was in double coverage and still managed to catch that one here. Just a tad shy. So 1st and goal now, and they're going to run with the option play. They're going to fake it one way and head the other way, and Price goes for the pitch anyway. I have no idea why. He was surrounded by Crimson Tide defenders, but he goes for the pitch. Mayer can't get to it, but I think a big O-lineman is able to fall on top of it in the end zone, so Arkansas still going to get the touchdown. So 17-14 your score, but on 3rd and 10, our offense still trying to do something, and it's Jody Quinn who gets that completion from Bentley here, and that's going to extend our drive as we're trying to get at least some kind of pointage here before the first half is over. So just under a minute and a half left to go, 1st and 10, and we're going to hand this one off to Christian Mitchell, who's bouncing outside, finding some open space, and he's going to get across the first down sticks before he gets dragged out of bounds with a minute and 19 left to go on the clock. So nice play by Mitchell here to get the first down and get out of bounds. So cut to 1st and 10 again here. Fake handoff to Christian Mitchell. Bentley flips this one out to the same spot that he hit Sean Watts, and this time it's going to hit Scott Mitchell on that part of the field, and it's going to be another Crimson Tide touchdown. And Stephen Bentley is just lining up these dots here, man. Just absolutely lasering these pigskins right where they need to go. And it's another Scott Mitchell touchdown, man. He's having himself a game today. So cut to a 3rd and 5 now on offense again, as Arkansas wasn't able to do anything with the ball here. Pressure on to Stephen Bentley, but he flips it across the middle, and that pass is going to be completed. As I flip through my roster sheet to find, because we had Eli Hoover, who was our 80 overall last season, and now we've replaced him with somebody else here. So, but now cut to a 3rd and 13, trying to move with some tempo here after a sack. Just under 20 seconds left to go. Stephen Bentley dropping back again, takes a shot towards the right side of the field, and that pass is going to be broken up. I thought there was a little bit of contact there, but I guess they're just going to let that one fly. So, cut to a 4th and 13 now. John Bellamy set up for a very long field goal, and they're going to fake the field goal, and it's our backup quarterback going for a throw here, and he throws it to the backup tight end, Carl Mann, who gets the first down on the 4th and 13 fake field goal, and he's going to get inside the 20, and now we're going to run the hurry up again here. John Bellamy lining up at a running back, what we're going to call timeout here, and now give Bellamy just pretty much an easier field goal. So Sick Nabin risking it for the biscuit here on a 4th down late in the first half, just ends up getting an easier field goal for John Bellamy. But hey, man, 3 points is 3 points no matter how you get it, I guess. So that was the backup quarterback, Jesse Allison, the sophomore, who was able to complete that catch for that 4th down conversion. So 24-17 is your score. We're going to start off with the football here in the second half. Well, a little bit later on here, as Arkansas is still stagnant on offense, and somehow that pass to Thomas Samples is completed. I have no idea how he caught that, and there's a flag on the field because the ref is probably thinking the same thing that I am, and he is. So it's going to be a PI on Arkansas. And so that's going to set us up in a little bit better of a position here than initially the catch would have you think. So we are moving once again. So cut to a 3rd and 3 now as Arkansas's defense trying to limit that, and it's going to be another sack on Stephen Bentley. And I want you guys to know I've cut out some of them, but the pressure's been on Stephen Bentley. Arkansas's been getting a lot of penetration on our offensive line for some reason. And this time we're going to stick with the long field goal, no shenanigans on 4th down, and John Bellamy is able to scrape that one just over the crossbar for another field goal completion. So another scoring opportunity ends in just 3 points, and that seems to be a trend right now as we take a 10-point lead over Arkansas, whose offense really hasn't seen a whole lot of life here in the second half yet. So cut to the 4th quarter, we already have the ball again here on a 3rd and 11, close to midfield, and Stephen Bentley lines this one across the middle to Thomas Samples, who gets absolutely flattened, man. A hospital pass from Stephen Bentley. He's going to have to learn not to throw those, or else his guys are not going to trust him to get him the ball. So cut to a 2nd and 10 now. Bentley dropping back here. Plenty of time to throw here. Flips it across the middle of the field, and I didn't think he had enough for the first down, but the game is going to give it to us, so I'm not going to question that. So cut to a 3rd and 3 now, just inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. Bentley faking the handoff, flips this one to the end zone, and there's not a clear throwing lane to Jody Quinn to get that completion. So that's going to be another scoring opportunity, this time in the red zone. That's going to have to rely on John Bellamy to try and finish things off, and he does. That's 3 straight field goals here that we've taken with an opportunity to get 7. So that's 21 points that we could have had. Instead, it's now just 9 points as we take a 30-17 lead over Arkansas, who's still looking for some signs of life here in the second half, and now Price might be getting it for the Razorbacks as he flips this one out to Lewis Sapp, one of the veterans on this team that we are at least somewhat familiar with, as he gets a first down for Arkansas. And now they're going to run with some tempo here. They have plenty of time, but they have some ground to cover here. They got to score at least 14 points here within the next 3.5 minutes, so they don't have any time to waste. Price here steps up in the pocket, fires this one over to the left sideline, and that one is broken up by Kenneth Jenkins, our top DB here. So cut to a 2nd and 10 for the Razorbacks. Price takes a low snap, fires this one across the middle to Lewis Sapp, who's got a nice little lane here, and he gets the first down in a little bit more before he is brought down. And so cut to a 3rd and 7 now. Our defense really showing some strength here, and the pressure's on to Price, but he gets rid of it in time, and Lewis Sapp with barely 2 toes in the corner of the end zone. A beautiful possession catch here for Lewis Sapp. Great to know where his placement on the field was. A very impressive catch for him, and that's going to result in a touchdown for Arkansas. So now it's a 6-point ball game, and now Arkansas has to give us the ball, and it's already 3rd and 17. Our offense desperately trying to at least get a first down to maybe get us in a victory formation, and that pass is completed, I believe, to Christian Mitchell, who caught that. And so timeout's going to get called by Arkansas. They're going to have to try and conserve some time, and we get the clock down to 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go on another 3rd and 6. Bentley going to try and throw for it, win the game on offense, and he nearly throws an interception as that ball is bobbled by an Arkansas linebacker. And regardless, with 58 seconds, we're going to have to give this one back to the Razorbacks. So cut to a 2nd and 10 now. Price steps back here, flips it off in the flat, and it's going to get caught, but it's heading the wrong direction. And Rick Sloan was all over that, and they're going to say he was in bounds, so the time is going to continue to tick here. Arkansas is going to have to run with a hurry-up, time getting down to just 30 seconds. Now Price, again, flips it out quickly, and that ball is batted around. I think the receiver still had a chance to maybe catch it, but either way, he didn't, so that's going to bring up 4th and 10 for Arkansas now. They have a long distance to go, 27 seconds. We've seen games end on the last play of the game, and a deep shot downfield is going to sail over that receiver's head, and that's going to be it. That's going to be turnover and downs for Arkansas. So they had prime opportunities and positions to potentially, create some late game heroics, and it ends unceremoniously for the Razorbacks. But regardless, we find ourselves in a tough position trying to hold off the Razorbacks, because we had at least 3 offensive possessions that could have resulted in touchdowns that could have completely ended this game, a whole quarter ago, only end up in field goals that kind of let Arkansas stick in this game. So we have a new bunch of starters. Arkansas had a new bunch of starters, but ultimately it was us who remain at the top here in terms of competitiveness. But Arkansas still played a very, very compelling game here. They ran the ball a lot more effectively than we did. Note that our rushing stats are still very much affected by the sacks because, like I said, Arkansas was getting a lot of penetration on our offensive line here for some reason. I have no idea why. I refuse to believe that Arkansas's defensive line overall-wise stacks up to our offensive line, but regardless, man, they got to Stephen Bentley 5 times. So Jesse Allison, the backup, gets himself a completion too, so we like to see that. That's kind of fun. Stephen Bentley, another very solid game despite the 5 sacks that he had. Completion percentage starts to dip at 368 yards and 3 touchdowns. We will happily take that. And Scott Mitchell leading the receiving corps by and far here with 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't match that production, man. I mean, that's just, he is the guy. So heading back to the hub, guys, and I'm really sorry to say this, but the SEC is currently going through a stretch of time where, all the teams that we're used to playing are really bad right now, like Georgia and Ole Miss. So the seasons have pretty much just boiled down to just being Arkansas, Tennessee, and LSU. So we pick up 3 wins, our last out-of-conference win against Wyoming, and then pick up big wins against Georgia and Ole Miss. And that's going to lead us into our rivalry game against Tennessee once again, guys. So we're already a good way through the season, and I hope to see you guys back in Tuscaloosa, man, when we take on the Tennessee Volunteers.